Kimberly Sam McCall, physical therapist, posture princess, lover of movement. Today we're going to talk about two things as one. That is lifestyle change and how to connect your neck and your abs and how important that is. We have tight necks, we have tight abs, and that's not working for us. So I'll talk about that. First, lifestyle changes. What I'm going to ask you to do today with me or on your own is to start integrating this one movement. It has to do with your neck and has to do with your belly. Because when I teach people to relax their belly, I mean, it's really unattractive, or it feels unattractive, and it sticks out, and I don't like to just introduce one thing without connecting it to the whole. That's my whole shtick, is everything's connecting. So the more we feel that, the more what happens? We want to have a lifestyle change. Lifestyle changes, to me, are very challenging because of our perspective. And so when I look back in my life, I've made a lot of lifestyle changes, and I've looked at the ones that are still here and the ones that didn't stick. And what I noticed is a critical principle is you've got to kind of find out that you like it or it did something for you when you started to make a change. So when I was really young, I started drinking more water in my 20s and sleeping better, and it made such a difference in my health. So why not keep doing it? It felt good. So it wasn't a huge change for me. I mean, it wasn't a huge obstacle because I could actually feel and enjoy and experience the change. When lifestyle changes are more challenging is when your mind is sort of running it and you're deciding how much you should do. And I see people who try to do lifestyle changes and they're very mechanical only, meaning, okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to go out and I work out. I walk this much. I'm on a treadmill this much. I do this, I do that, whatever. And they usually have to have music, or they have to have a television. They have to have some sort of external stimuli to keep them on their program. There's nothing wrong with that stuff, but if it's the what is motivating you, then you're probably going to have to come back and do it again and do it again. So it is a sense of process that you fall in love with versus a means to an end. If I'm just doing something to get to a goal, oh, I got to get this good at pickleball. Oh, I got to get this good at kung fu. Oh, I got to get my black belt. Oh, I got to get my blue belt, or whatever your thing is. Well, it becomes a burden, a job, and it doesn't usually give you back. So lifestyle changes are what I teach. I mean, what I teach, you change your life. You have to change the way you move every day. It sounds very, very difficult. It is not at all near as difficult as the mind will tell you. Because doing this for so long, you kind of fall in love with what you get, your results. And so you go, oh, this is interesting. And if you take small steps, small bites, small steps, small pieces, play with it, don't take it so seriously. Now, if you're in a lot of pain, that can actually be a motivating factor, because pain will, like all of us have been in mental and physical pain, that can really cause us to focus hard and really kind of dedicate harder. And that's not a bad thing. I think that's kind of why we have to bump into things in life to get ourselves to change, because if it doesn't feel like it, if we're too comfortable, we tend to just, I think comfort is one of the biggest obstacles people have, all of us. I call today's workouts the Netflix of workouts. I gotta be entertained while I feel better. So we all know that movement makes you feel better if you don't have a lot of pain. I'm just assuming that. So we gotta be entertained. And if I'm not entertained, then I really don't want to do it. That's all external. Okay, nothing wrong with that. But if you don't have some sort of enjoyment of what you're doing and being in the moment and failing and then getting up and going again and failing and getting, because Constantly, life is just one big failure that you overcome. That's what to me it is. And when you start to see that that's just normal, it becomes a lot more interesting. And your mind begins to let go of control, and you start to trust the body or whatever you're doing, and that is so much more enjoyable. Here we go. Here's what we're going to do today. Most people, I've done this before, but today we're going to really focus on taking it into your life. Okay? So, most people are pretty tight in their neck back here. Don't even know it, but they are. Because of phones, chin up, we're always looking out. We really don't know what's going on here. We don't use our head enough. We really don't. We use our biceps. We use our triceps. We use our legs. But we don't use our head, and we really need to. And I'm always trying to be creative on how to do that. Here's a picture that I've shown before. These people that use their body to balance most of what they have in their life with them as they go from town to town or wherever they're going. They're balancing a lot of things on their body. They balance on their structure. With me, you don't have to think about any muscles. Your muscles will follow your bones. So here's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with relaxing the belly, which has got a lot of tension usually, and we got tension here. So what if we took the tension out of these two areas and began to help them connect? Because when I first started doing a relaxation in my belly, I was about early 30s, and I was a yoga teacher, and I was thin, I was little, but my stomach came out to I was amazed at how much my belly stuck out, which was a reflection of the lack of connection, my front and back, my belly wasn't connected. People think of isolating, I'm going to isolate this, I'm going to isolate this, I'm going to isolate this, it didn't work. I mean, you may like it, go ahead, I'm not the lady for you. I'm the connection lady, feel better, age well, have fun. So, relaxation here, but it sticks out. How can I make it so that the neck and the belly work together? I press up into my head. So what I use to press up, sometimes I like light things. I don't want people putting heavy things. This is a eyeglass cleaner thing or a computer cleaner. It's not going to fall off my head. I don't have to concern myself. So it's really light. You may say, oh, that's too light. You may not even be able to feel it. So I'll put a little more. But it's stuck, kind of, So I don't have to think about that. Now, if I stretch my face up, that's not stretching my neck. If I stretch I stretch up into here like the woman with the pot, it's more subtle, of course. You probably won't feel anything right away. You might, but let's make it easier. I put this on my head, I stretch up. There's not a lot going on. I place my hands on my chest. I press into my chest. I press down. So I'm just kind of telling my body, you do not lift sternum. Sternum, you stay down as you stretch the back of your neck up. My face will be down and relaxed. I walked around my house a lot early days to get the understanding that this was not designed to lift my neck and head. I had to get a concept of what direction was normal. Well, of course, having my head carry something, that's normal because it's in line with my spine. And I kept my chest down, and the only thing restricting me was my soft tissue, my habitual movement patterns that my muscles were doing. So I press in and down, I stretch up, and this is what I did in the beginning a lot. So if this is all you do, and what if you don't even have this, you don't have to. If you have it, great. If you don't, if it helps, do it. But I walked around like this. It felt really good to me because I felt like, God, I finally know what to do with my neck and chest. That will begin to connect here. Because if I stretch my neck up, and I'm going to show you another way of doing this, you have to have longer hair to do this. But if I take my hair and I pull it up from the nape of my neck, most people love the way that feels. My face is relaxed. My neck, I get, wow, oh, that's my neck.
Turn more your arm. There you go.
So I stretch my neck up, thank you. I stretch my neck up, my face falls down, I find out, oh, there's my neck, I can finally feel it. Then, as I get more of that up feeling, I start to feel it connect to my abs. So my abs aren't sucking in, they're lengthening up. So instead of having this, I start to have this. Now this isn't about good posture. I could care. I just don't like the expression good posture, bad posture, because if I say good, then something's got to be bad. It's an either or, doesn't make sense. It's like saying I have good basketball posture, bad basketball posture. No, basketball's an alive movement. There's so many pieces of it. So I can't say good or bad. It's just a process of many movements. But we have to start with the foundation. And this is the foundation. I either stretch up here and press down, or I press up and then I feel.
There you go.
So I walk around and it feels good. And if you don't have hair, just take the little bit of hair that you have at the base and pull up. And then you'll start to feel, oh wow, this connects. So I'm just as tall at 65. Well, I got taller when I was in my early 30s. You know, I got a ½ inch taller because of this stuff. Now I'm 5'5". I still am. Not that that really matters. But it's fun because it just says the body's really smart, and if you get habitually into these things, my abs get stronger with every movement I make. That's your foundation. Pulling up or pressing down or putting something on your head. Let your belly be relaxed. And then you can start to feel as your neck lets go. Because at first it's tight. And I just liked, it just, then you let go and you can kind of feel something let go, and then your structure begins to just be more upright. If I had to think about this all the time, it'd be crazy. I do think about it in the back of my mind, but I'm really just enjoying it. I'm shifting, and I have an hugely, I don't know if that's a word, increased amount of awareness of my body movements. And when we're more aware, whether we're doing a sport, whether we're doing meditation, whatever we're doing, we are more content. Happy, peaceful. Awareness brings a lot. It brings a lot to you. So that's today's lifestyle change. Neck and abs. Relax it and move it in line with your body. Get into structure. Questions?
Becca in Birmingham says, do you have any tricks to remind me of the back of my neck?
This one is the one that I would do the most, is touch it. I feel like if I do this, like that, or pull my hair. Another one is, I have my hands down. I bring my face down. You can do that right now. Close your eyes. I like to put my hands on my head, on my chest. Put my face down, and all of a sudden my neck feels longer. And then when I open my eyes, I bring my eyes up to normal. So you're going to notice your nose is down. It's going to be kind of weird at first. You may yawn a lot if there's tension. I notice that I yawn. You will yawn. you'll kind of like get rid of tension by yawning. I don't know why it happens, but it does.
Jill in Tucson asks, how did you figure out that you needed to relax your abs?
My teacher. I had my teacher she's an artist, Angie Thusius. I only saw Angie like 9 times in my whole life. But she started this process. She does Kintro balance or whatever, I forgot. But she studied with a woman named Noelle Perez. And Noelle Perez studied ethnic movement. She decided for a lot of reasons, but she started studying the ethnic movement world, and that was where Angie as an artist met her, and then Angie brought it to America. Now I'm in my early 30s, I'm a physical therapist. I am not like happy with the exercises I was taught in physical therapy school to help with problems, orthopedic problems. They weren't working for me. Now this is the early 90s, okay? So you have to understand, I just kind of dove into this. It made sense, and that's how I created my physical therapy movement patterns, was from this origin. And so these people, I saw pictures of them, I saw their alignment, I was putting my physical therapy brain with like structure governs function. That's right. These people are relaxed in their belly, they're relaxed in their face, but they're doing really hard work and heavy labor. I knew that athletes, once they mastered or developed a skill, they did it with great ease. So it was like, well, neurologically that makes sense. Because when you develop a movement pattern really well, you're highly skilled at that movement pattern, there's less muscles that have to work. You become more skilled, it becomes easier and more fluid. So that's neurologically made sense to me. So then I started realizing, well, relaxing, of course that makes sense. I wouldn't want to hold my fist tight all day. Nobody wants to do that. Do I want to hold my jaw tight all day? No. Do I want to hold my belly tight all day? No. So many of my understandings medically just fit into this, and then I did. I just sort of threw myself into it with every orthopedic challenge I found, and found out through my own body and others, the more I relaxed, the more I could shift my body into a more centered and balanced state, the right muscle groups would kick in. And life, in movement-wise, was a lot easier than I ever imagined. So that was my evolution to where I am today and created what I do from that foundation. But then I took it to this level of physical therapy. That's how I got here. And that's how I knew it made sense. And plus, once you experience this, you go, my gosh, of course this works. It isn't a thought thing. You have to really like you can start feeling it. Oh my gosh, I'm relaxed, but my belly is toning up. How'd that happen? You know? That's it.
Eve in Arlington asks, why is it that sometimes it feels like our mind works against what our bodies should be doing?
No, I love that. The fact you asked the question, you already have the answer. I mean, the fact that you notice that. I feel we are in a society that's very thought-based, science-based, thinking-based, Google-based, idea-based. You didn't grow up having to get from one town to the other carrying something and having more experiences with your body than your mind. We experience so much with our mind and what we've been taught. And I don't have all the answers. I've studied under a lot of different types of spiritual teachers and watched a lot. And what I'm learning is that our mind gets in the wrong place, meaning it should be not leading us, but following our body. That we need to quiet this. The best way to me to quiet is just start noticing how to use my body and giving my body the chance to step in, and then my mind kind of quiets over time. Now, part of that is just habit. Just habit of mind. It can be, if you get deep, you can be stress It can be subconscious. There's all sorts of things. That's not my specialty, but I do know that the more that I give attention to this, the more relaxed I am, more at peace I am with my body, and that my mind is there to help me, but it is not in front. It's behind. My body leads. And that's not in vogue in our society today. To trust the body, put the body in a certain place, bend a certain way, see what happens. No, we tell ourselves with our mind, well, you should be doing these things. I find that misleading, and I will tell you a little bit. When a medical professional comes to one of my classes, I know how they've been trained. I have to take them out and say, for 1 hour or 1 hour and a half or whatever long, I'm going to ask you to just not let your mind run this. Just set it down for a minute, and when it pops in, just keep setting down everything you know, because that's hard. And when they do, they are so amazed at what they learn. That doesn't mean they can't pick up their knowledge later and really use it. Actually, they can use it better. But it is ingrained to think before we move. So we're uningraining. That's how I see it. Hope that helps.
Bob in Williams asks, why does my chest or sternum want to come up to lengthen my neck?
I think because we're short here. I think we're kind of tight like this. For some reason, we've elevated and we've shortened a lot of this. And then when we drop this and stretch up, I can tell you a lot of reasons why I think. Another reason is if we're really tight in our pelvis, we can't relax down. We're not used to letting go in our hips. If you watch some of my videos, I talk all the time about sitting in your crotch and being in your crotch. I tend to hold up here if I don't think I have a place to sit down in there. So this, and it may be very subtle and it may be very subconscious, but if I can't sit in my crotch and relax my belly, how is my neck and chest going to relax? So I think it's just habitual patterns. It's just habitual patterns. That's all it is. It's not something that we have to worry about. We can just start changing them because the body knows from childhood how to do it well. And then we can just go back to what it already knows how to do. That's the fun thing about it.
Angie in Flagstaff asks, will my stomach always be sticking out or will it contract?
It will contract. It will get, it'll lengthen up and it gets really firm. Now, I don't have, what you'll notice is, what you'll notice more is an abdominal strengthening. Most people is that you'll see this part right in here, and then this will kind of stick out a little bit. You'll see this in a lot of track and field. Women, I've noticed, they don't have this sucked in. Usually it's the African American women, black women, who really do not manipulate their bodies. They don't get all like this. They're gorgeous. They have a little bit of a belly that just kind of rounds, and then they have this incredible back and buttocks, and they're like a cylinder. And they don't tend, it's cultural sometimes too, they don't tend to manipulate and pull in. So you have to look at different types of abdominals, and then you also have to get to where you feel good in your body and it lengthens up. I mean, I lengthen up, I can feel my abs kick in all the time. When I sit, I can lean back a little, my abs are kicking in. My ab is kicking in. My abs are kicking in all the time. And the more you become structurally more upright.
Last but not least, Bill in Vernon says, why do you feel traditional PT exercises don't work to help bring relief or strengthen an injured area?
Now, it's not something I think, I just didn't have success. Now, I had success with exercises in physical therapy that were post-op, meaning after an ACL reconstruction, if I was doing quad sets. Anytime there was a post-op situation where I needed to help somebody's body reconnect, there were a lot of little exercises that I found very valuable. Now, I'm 30 years into being a physical therapist. More than that. So this isn't something that yesterday I thought or didn't think. I know how far some of those exercises can help you. And I know that there are some that really work. And then I know a whole lot that are doing the same thing, or a whole lot of exercises that are continuing to be used that are spot treatment and they're not working. I know people lie on the ground and do the same exercises for their back that they did in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000. And they're still struggling with their back or their hip or something. That doesn't make sense. Think of your exercises to help you heal. Now, I'm not speaking about post-op. I'm talking about everyday life stuff. Think about it as a sport. You do drills. You do drills. Michael Jordan said what? He said something about foundation was really important in basketball. You got to build a foundation. I'm the foundation lady. And these exercises are only life exercises. These are the things you do every day. Why don't we make them the physical therapy exercises so that you will not continue to go back to the same problems? So it's not whether I think or don't think they work. Some work and some fall short. After 30 years, I kind of see the ones that do and don't. So it's not an all right or all wrong, but if I hadn't seen the weaknesses of some of those exercises, I would not have been able to give people and myself this freedom that I have. I cannot tell you how many times people have said to me, I wish I met you 10 years ago or 15 years ago, meaning that they could have just started this movement thing and avoided, because it's preventive, avoided many injuries because you become so much smarter in your movement. So physical therapy exercises have their place, many of them, and many of them fall short. That's all I know after many years. So that's it. Okay, next Monday, I'm going to have a free Zoom class, 10:30 Pacific time, and you have to sign up on my newsletter to get the Zoom link. So if you just go on my website, McCallMethod.com, sign up for my newsletter, you can get the link. I'll send it, everybody that's in my newsletter gets the link. And it's my first one, so be cool with me, because I'm going to try to, what I want to do is show you a movement. I want to see you do it, if I can possibly watch you. I want to take somebody off the, spotlight them, and I want to give them the details, like, oh, your head's falling, or this, that, and you can go along with them, and you can be doing the same thing, because it's experiencing this that makes your life different, not hearing me talk about it. So, next Monday, there you go. Sign up. Have a good day. Oh yeah, what else? You're supposed to subscribe and share and like if please, and that's great. Thank you.